Hello, you're watching Tuesday edition of News Mongolia. Today is June 28. For our top stories. Constitutional Court of Mongolia issues a decision regarding the proportional electoral system. National Conference on Food Supply Security held. Greenhouse project is supporting local farmers for greater harvests. For other news, stay tuned. The Ministry of Food, Agriculture and Light Industry is cooperating with the science and technology sector to ensure food security. In this context, a national conference on food supply and security, science, technology and innovation in food, agriculture and light industry was held on June 27th.
Participation and cooperation of highly skilled professionals, researchers, professional associations, research organizations, higher and vocational education institutions to launch the national movement Food Supply and Security throughout the country and bring the food and agriculture sector to a new level. Committed leadership is essential. The state believes that the key of the development of the sector is the successful introduction of your projects and scientific achievements production into practice and the rationalization of science-based government policies. During the 70 years of history of agricultural science in Mongolia, more than 20 varieties of cereals, 15 varieties of potatoes, more than 60 varieties of vegetables, more than 50 varieties of fruits, ornamental plants, oilseeds and other plants have been introduced. As a result, Mongolian scientists and researchers have cultivated 40% of wheat, 80% of potatoes, 60 to 70% of vegetables and fruits nationwide, and they have played a very important role in the country's food supply. In addition, our scientists and researchers have successfully introduced more than 100 agro-technologies to combat soil erosion, soil fertility, use mineral and biological fertilizers, green manure technology, cultivate a variety of crops, and run an elite seed farm of native cultivars. Furthermore, we are introducing new and environmentally friendly techniques and technologies to protect agricultural crops, pastures and forests from various insects, plant diseases, weeds and rodents. As a result, crop yields will be increased by 20 to 50% and healthy plants and plant products will be available to the public without the use of pesticides or non-organic fertilizers. Mongolian scientists and researchers have been conducting research and analysis to improve the breed and productivity of livestock, to introduce the yielding breeds, to develop advanced animal husbandry technologies, and to improve feed and nutrition efficiency. As a result, 5 types of livestock have been bred to increase productivity, and a new breed of wild boar, local pigs, Mongolian yaks, reindeer and bees have been identified and introduced into production. Because of the research and experiments of our veterinary scientists and researchers, Mongolians hold more than 60 types of intellectual property certified vaccines, drugs and diagnostic technologies to replace imports to ensure animal health and food safety. This is the result of your hard work and efforts, and Mongolian scientists and researchers, and on behalf of our people, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to you.
For many years, lawyers and politicians haven't been able to arrive at a conclusion as to whether the proportional electoral system or majoritarian electoral system is suitable for further development of Mongolia. On Monday, the Constitutional Court of Mongolia issued its conclusion. Member of Parliament Dorchan provided his comments regarding the decision of the Constitutional Court of Mongolia.
The Constitutional Court of Mongolia discussed the constitutionality of some provisions of the election law. In particular, Member of Parliament Dorchant and lawyer Urtsakh appealed to the court on the constitutionality of the current majoritarian electoral system, also known as the first-past-the-post system. The court reviewed the issue and concluded that the legislature retains the exclusive right to elect and legislate any electoral system in accordance with Article 21.4 of the Constitution of Mongolia, which stipulates that parliamentary election procedure shall be determined by law. In other words, the electoral system will be legislated by Parliament within its mandate, not by the Constitution.
The Constitutional Court has put an historic end with the decision whether or not to use the proportional system. As a result, a foundation is being laid for strengthening parliamentary democracy in Mongolia. The system whereby Parliament, which distributes its budget to 76 small electoral districts, has members tied to the district's interest ends today. Because it is clear that the electoral system will have a proportional element. As a result, Mongolia is becoming one of the big electoral districts. A member of parliament elected on a proportional basis debate and talks about the entire country's interest and the financing the major development projects. Second, with a proportional system, no votes will be lost. The court reviewed the issue and concluded that the legislature retains the exclusive right to legislate any electoral system in accordance with Article 21.4 of the Constitution of Mongolia.
Proportional representation is a system used to elect a country's government. The number of seats allocated to a party will depend upon the percentage of the vote a party gets. Decisions are then made by the people who have been elected.
Chamersum in Xilin province is famous for its vegetable production. However, climate change has been affecting crops in recent years. The local administration has decided to rent greenhouses to small-scale farmers to increase their vegetable production. Through the project, around 30 farmers have rented greenhouses. Due to climate change, which is resulting in overheating, drought, flooding, and extreme cold, greenhouses are becoming a good solution for productive harvesting. There are over 1,100 households in Chamersum. Most of them plant vegetables for family consumption. The greenhouse project organizers plan to help them increase their harvest and introduce their products across the country.
Our sum has around 200 vegetable farmers who specialize in growing leafy greens. They don't require big fields, they just use small plots. The local administration's support is meant to help them increase their income and produce quality vegetables for the market.
I'm grateful for the past 2 years since my retirement. I've been planting vegetables for our family's consumption. I want to grow a variety of vegetables in the future. We planted tomatoes in the greenhouse. Next year, broccoli and leafy greens are on my planting list. Thanks to the greenhouse, we can have an early harvest of our vegetables. The SOM plans to organize the greenhouse project every year. Next year, 50 households will have greenhouses through leasing. The greenhouses allow them to plant vegetables in early spring and early autumn without being dependent on the perfect seasonal timing. Now let's take a look at the currency exchange rates provided by Mongol Bank. Here comes the weather forecast for the world's major cities. This is it for today. Thank you for staying with us. We'll see you tomorrow with more news updates. Have a nice evening. Goodbye.